Welcome everyone back to weekly weather updates, and in today's video we're going to have the latest from the live radar, run through the weather warnings. We do have an amber warning issued for torrential rain through much of Monday for parts of the Midlands into northern England and East Anglia. We are going to see some exceptionally heavy rain developing overnight through Sunday into Monday, and it is going to stall in those amber warning regions, and that's where we could see it dump the remaining moisture within it. We could be seeing 60 to 80 millimeters quite widely. That's about 3 inches of rain. Some areas could be seeing in excess of 100 millimeters of rain. So looking at 4, maybe 5 inches of rainfall. Now in itself it is quite a lot of rain, but the reason why that it could be significant is because on top of all the heavy rain that we've seen through today, we've seen through the last few days with some thunderstorms as well. So we'll look at that in detail. We'll run through the latest UKV and AROM runs, looking at all of those precipitation charts, because fortunately after Monday we are going to have a brief lull on Tuesday, but then unfortunately the heavy rain does come back. It is going to be a bit more widespread and not really focused in any one individual area like we're seeing with the rain over the past few days, where it has been mostly England and Wales. It's going to be more widespread later on this upcoming week. And then we'll have a look at some of the longer range charts, where, as we have alluded to over the last few videos, it looks like it could go very cold late this upcoming week into the weekend, as we do see northerly winds arriving on the backside of the clearing low pressure system, and then beyond that into early October. Still quite a lot for debate, but it is looking like it's going to remain fairly autumnal with unsettled conditions. So do remember, if you enjoy my videos, to like and subscribe, and remember to follow me on Twitter as well. The link's in description. Now, if you start on the live radar, you can see quite a lot of extensive heavy rain through today. Again, the main focus is England and Wales, but it has shifted slightly further northwards, whereas the last couple of days we've seen quite a few thunderstorms across the far south of England, southwest England, into parts of the West Midlands and Wales. Now it's more extensive with this rain clearing northwards. As we have stated, though, it is more of a widespread rain risk today than thunderstorms, but you can still see there are some torrential patches within the wider areas of rain, including a few thunderstorms developing here towards the east of Bath, a few into the West Midlands and Wales as well. And in this southeast corner, we are expecting another initiation of storms through the afternoon. Now, I'm recording this around 2 p.m, so we've got another couple of hours of that storm activity. We can already see a few isolated storms and heavy showers starting to develop, and it could become more widespread overnight tonight. Now, the rain that we are going to be seeing through much of Monday is all of this stuff down here across France. It's the eastern edge of this weather front with this trough that is sat in the English Channel down towards the Bay of Biscay. It's developing all these heavy showers and thunderstorms, and as it rotates and pushes in, we are going to see all of this rainfall moving in as well. There is the risk again through tomorrow of some more thunderstorms, but I think the main focus will be on widespread torrential rain in that amber warning region. Now, it isn't particularly cold. We've still actually got some very warm, muggy air out there. I found it very oppressive the last day or so, because we still have those warm upper air temperatures. You can still see it's very warm across much of Germany and the Netherlands. It's in the same air mass we're in. It's just not got the precipitation. And with all that moisture added to the air, it's really quite humid out there at the moment. Still feeling like summer. All going to change, though, over the coming days. Now, if you go over to the weather warnings, we have got this widespread yellow warning issued for much of today. And again, it's for most of England and all of Wales. And it goes all the way to midnight. So a blanket warning. Again, we're looking at 40 to 70 millimeters in a couple of hours. That's mainly where we see those thunderstorms, 80 to 100 millimeters. And you can see that we have had different areas of focus throughout the day. Southwest England and generally southern areas earlier in the day. Through the rest of the day, further northwards for the widespread rain, and maybe some storms further southwards. Can see it is medium impact, low likelihood. And then into Monday, we have another widespread yellow rain warning, slightly shifted further eastwards, so chopping off the far west of Wales and southwest England, more across East Anglia and northeastern England. Some of these areas haven't been too badly affected over the past few days. I do think it's this East Midlands, West Midlands region that could be really hit badly by the rain, because of all the rain we've seen over the past few days, on top of the few inches of rain we could see through Monday. Could be pretty impactful indeed. And you can see from the shape of the warning it is essentially where the weather front does pivot. It pushes in, stalls in this area, pivots, and then pulls away into the North Sea through Monday evening. Now, if you look at the larger yellow warning, again, it's for full 24 hours, very similar to the warning you have today. Again, 30 to 50 millimetres could fall anywhere in the warning area over 6 hours or less, maybe 80 to 100 millimetres over the course of 12 to 24 hours. So it actually has similar impacts to the amber warning. It's just less likely, and the impacts, therefore, the sort of overall impacts are less disruptive. But still, even if you're in the yellow warning, not in the amber warning, you could still see significant rain. You see it is medium impact and low likelihood. And then for the amber warning, you can see it is still medium impact, but it's medium likelihood. So it's just the fact that the likelihood is higher. So as I said, if you are in the yellow warning zone, doesn't mean you won't see flooding, doesn't mean you won't see thunderstorms, doesn't mean you won't see severe conditions. It's just simply less likely. Here we're going to see an area of heavy rain during central and southern England during the early hours of Monday, edging northwards and westwards and then coming slow moving somewhere across the warning area for several hours. That's where it pivots. It will then weaken and move eastwards later on Monday evening and overnight, but even when it weakens, it'll still be moderate rainfall falling on top of exceptionally saturated ground, and that's why we could see 60 to 80 millimetres and maybe 100 to 120. And again, emphasis on not all counties within the warning area will be equally affected. There also could be lightning again from some embedded thunderstorms. Again, we're looking at Derby, Derbyshire, Leicester, Leicestershire, Lincolnshire, Northamptonshire, Nottinghamshire, Rutland, parts of East England, Cambridge, Peterborough, Oxfordshire, Gloucestershire, Herefordshire, Shropshire, Staffordshire, Stoke-on-Trent, Telford and Wrekin, Warwickshire, West Midlands, Conurbation, Worcestershire, East Riding of Yorkshire, Kingston upon Hull, North East Lincolnshire, North Lincolnshire and South Yorkshire. So a lot of regions being affected. Not everywhere within these regions, but very large warning area. And again, could be pretty impactful indeed through Monday. That amber warning, if we look at the timings, is quite a long warning from 5 a.m. until 9 p.m. Now, if you go over to the latest UKV and see why that amber warning has been put into force, you can see all the heavy showers and thunderstorms through this morning slowly clearing northwards, and we could see another initiation of storms behind that through the rest of this afternoon for southern areas. Eventually, that rain will slowly edge northwards, could become more widespread through the late hours of Sunday. Again, across many northern areas, already dumping quite a lot of rain on those amber regions before the warning's even in force. And then once the warning comes in force, it's because lots of heavy rain pushes northwards, turning into a more organised band, and it pivots on its axis through Monday afternoon, slowly clearing out to our east. Now, the UKV actually isn't too severe here. It has the weather front a bit more broken up, and some of the heaviest rain actually offshore. So if this UKV came off, then we probably wouldn't see too many severe impacts. But the reason why we've got an amber warning is because not all runs do agree with the UKV. The UKV here is probably one of the lighter runs in terms of precipitation. Other runs, like we'll see with the aroma in a minute, are a lot more severe and a lot more organised in that heavy rain. But you can see the general gist here, that heavy rain pushing in and slowly pivoting and clearing eastwards through the early hours of Tuesday. And then into Tuesday, a bit of a lull. We do see a few showers, but generally a much drier day, and those showers will likely be less widespread and would likely be lighter in nature. But into Wednesday, it changes again. Heavy rain pushing in from the southwest, so we see a change in wind direction as we do start to see strong westerly winds pushing in. Very unsettled with lots of heavy, thundery showers pushing in as well. But more of a classic low pressure system, so a lot stronger winds, so it means the rain will clear through quite a bit faster. So less likely to see those severe impacts, even though the rainfall here looks as heavy and as torrential as it's been over the past few days, and it will be through Monday. It's just much faster moving. You see it in the space of 3 hours here. That rain clears the whole of southwest England, Wales, and into the Midlands and northern England, and then within another 3 hours, it's almost out to the North Sea. So it just shows you that even though it is as intense in terms of the torrential nature, it is a lot faster moving because it is a westerly based low pressure system. You can see into Thursday, still seeing lots of heavy rain around, but it slowly clears. And on the back edge, we do pull in very cold northerly winds. You can start to see that very cold air starting to nudge in. And as it does, could see frosts and just generally quite cold conditions through the weekend into the start of next week, potentially. Now, if you look at the max temperatures, you can see through this afternoon, still muggy, still 20 degrees, but that will cool down inevitably through Monday and Tuesday. Still 20 degrees possible in a few spots on Monday where we avoid the heaviest rain. And then into Tuesday, starting to turn cooler, 16, 17, much colder across Scotland. Wednesday, that cold air becomes a bit more widespread through the Republic of Ireland, Northern Ireland and Scotland, and much cooler for England and Wales. And then into Thursday, still muggy in the east, but slowly starting to clear. And by Friday, it will be much colder further northwards, especially during the afternoon, where many areas will struggle to get much above the double digits as those northerly winds start to pile in. Now, if you look at the aroma run, which as I said is quite a bit more severe for the rain through Monday, you can see the heavy thundery showers moving through at the moment, slowly clearing northwards, and you can see through the rest of this afternoon in this southeast corner we can see further initiation in that higher level of Cape, and that could affect the rest of the evening, pushing northwards, giving more torrential rain through that amber warning zone through Sunday evening. And then you can see all that heavy rain associated with thunderstorms across France start to push in from the Channel and from the North Sea, giving torrential rain through much of Monday, slowly pivoting, yes, losing its intensity, but as it does, it just dumps more and more rain on those stationary areas. You can see that the rain does become more isolated to that amber warning zone, but it is very slow moving as it pulls away. If you do look at the accumulated precipitation, this is just for the next 36 hours. Look at that amber warning zone, 100 to maybe 150 millimetres, and you can see that pinpoint area looks around that East Midlands, Nottingham sort of area, could see exceptional amounts of rain over the next 36 hours or so. Again, that pinpoint area could subtly move, but that's why we got that amber warning, because it could be absolutely torrential through much of Monday. And look at that cut off is at 6 p.m. If we gave it to midnight, perhaps we could see another 10-20 millimetres on top of that. I can't emphasise that bullseye area where it pivots could see exceptional amounts of rain. Elsewhere, still a lot. But if we do have a look at the longer range, now you can see northerly winds starting to push in. It does turn much more unsettled later this week, and that's with that more severe low that we saw on the UKV, with lots more stronger winds and more heavy rain. Again, we'll focus on that in the next couple of days after this the severe rain tomorrow does clear. And then we see northerly winds on the backside pulling in some very cold air as it does clear. Then we eventually see more of a westerly flow, and you can see it is pretty unsettled indeed, for eventually at the end of the run you can see it does go autumnal, oscillating between milder and cooler sectors, more of traditional October weather, whereas recently it's been all over the place, very cold, very warm, still chopping and changing even this upcoming week. If you compare to the GM, again broadly very similar, low pressure pushing in at the moment, northerly winds clearing, and then eventually we do see more of a westerly flow all the way to day 10. And then if we look at the ECM WF, again we do start to see northerly winds pushing in, a westerly flow coming through, and then eventually we do start to see again more of a westerly flow all the way to day 10. And then if we finish by looking at the latest ensembles, not too much of a change over the past few days. Much more unsettled this upcoming week more widely, even though the rain's focused in England and Wales at the moment, going to Scotland later this week as well. Big drop in temperatures again for 2 or 3 days, with very cold air pushing in almost 10 degrees below average in some spots, and then back towards average and unsettled for early October. So traditional October autumnal conditions, and you can see broadly the same from the ECMWF. So to be honest, the longer term outlook not got too much disagreement from the models, fairly consistent, and it'll be an interesting watch over the coming days to see what happens, whether we do see a stormy spell, and how much rain we do see, because could be some flooding over the coming weeks if this sort of pattern keeps up. So anyway, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you again for another video soon.